Car wrecks, they can lead to devastating injuries. Some aren't always visible on an x-ray though,
right.
Kind of like soft tissue injuries,
right.
brain injuries. In fact, some of those can last a lifetime. So how do you determine the worth of a soft tissue injury? This is pretty interesting.
Yeah, those are very difficult because, you know, there's a lot of injuries that you cannot just take an x-ray and put it up on the board. You know, with a broken arm or a broken leg or a torn ACL in the knee, you can put that x-ray up on the board and you can show people what he or she, you know, what they're experiencing as far as, you know, everybody knows that if you have a broken arm or broken leg, that hurts and you're going to have pain and suffering from that. A lot of times soft tissue injuries, such as, you know, back pain and things like that, there's not really any way to put that on the board. And then also, you know, probably more serious than that, the brain injury. People suffer brain injuries all the time in car wrecks or slip and falls where, you know, where they hit their head. And, you know, usually a concussion is, you know, we hear that term all the time, concussion, but, you know, what is a concussion? Well, it is a damage to the brain. And as a result of that, you can have memory loss, reason, temperament, mood swings, and also with your personality, you know, it can just go back and forth. A lot of our clients, we've seen really bad situations where, you know, they take a blow to the head and then their whole life changes. And some are more severe than others. We have one right now, unfortunately, in an automobile accident where the frontal lobe of his brain has been damaged and it's damaged forever, and he's going to have cognitive issues. He has completely lost the taste of sense. I'm sorry, the sense of taste and smell for the rest of his life. And it's not going to come back, and he's only 19 years old. And so, I mean, think about going through life without being able to taste or to smell for the rest of your life, not to mention all the other problems he's having, but that is a direct result from the brain injury that he suffered. And we see it a lot of times. Symptoms can start arising a couple of days after the accident. It's not necessarily the day that you're injured, but a lot of times people that, you know, we hear all the time where I was in a bad car wreck and I immediately got nauseous and I threw up. Well, that's typically because you took a blow to the head and had a concussion, and those, what we call post-concussive symptoms, they can last for months, years, or sometimes a lifetime. And so it's always best to go get looked at. You know, typically they have to, you know, if you're still having problems, an MRI of the brain can typically find, you know, what the damage is. And, but again, you can't see it.
No, you can't.
You can't see it, so people and insurance companies, they want to play it off because any injury that you can't see.
And they want to handle it quick.
Any injury that you can't see with the naked eye, you know, they're basically looking at you and say, okay, well, prove to us that you were injured like you say you're injured, because it's more subjective in nature and not objective. Again, like a broken arm where you can put that x-ray up on the board.
And see it clearly.
You can see that crack, but with soft tissue injuries to the back and then also brain injuries, they're more difficult to diagnose.